Hi, Prema here, and our focus is the energy of the archetype, the Great Nurturer. The Great Nurturer is ruled by the moon and animates a lot of light, both out in the world and inwardly as well. The Great Nurturer is nurturing, devoted, motherly, loving, wise, empathetic, very empathetic, compassionate, abundant, generous, receptive, emotional, inclusive, supportive, and stable. So the mantra for the Great Nurturer is, I give and receive nourishment. The Great Nurturer is all about nourishing people, the planet, community, and the soul desire is to be a channel for unconditional love, abundance, and growth. The purpose of the Great Nurturer is to nurture growth and create community. And there's a shadow side too, and that's overgiving, martyrdom, over-emotional, and over-attached. The Great Nurturer is a mother, a creatrix, a teacher, a humanitarian, a supporter, coordinator, gardener, problem solver, counselor, caregiver, and healer. And this is just really the great mother. And even if you are a man with this archetype, this ability to nurture and be able to feel into and sense what someone else needs in order for them to grow and flourish. And the Great Nurturer has this innate ability in the best of the nurturing energy to sense what the person or planet or animal or child needs, or even environment needs, and is able to water just those roots. So not do it for someone, but give them just what they need to grow, what they need for flourishing. And this is just an amazing, amazing gift. And just think of what our planet would be like, what our families would be like, what our workplaces would be like if we didn't have this energy of the Great Nurturer held by those of you who have this amazing gift. So when you embody this archetype, you're deeply in touch with the pulse of humanity and the planet. You're a conduit for unconditional love, patience, caring, and nourishment. It's the great mother kind of archetype. Your first priority is to give sustenance and substance where it's needed and to nurture life. Again, you get in there and you feed those roots of whatever needs to be fed. So someone can take the next step, so they can create whatever they need to create. Like, you're like the number one supporter, but you shine in your own leadership way in doing that because of your gifts of being able to, you're empathetic on being able to feel into situations and things, and again, know exactly what is needed. You feel really, truly fulfilled at the end of the day when you know in your heart that you've made a difference for someone, that you're very connected to making a difference. And you're highly sensitive, and you're sensitive also to the needs of the masses. So sometimes you're going to process the collective pain of the masses. So it's really important for the Great Nurturer to know how to manage your empathy. So when you have really good, clear, clean empathy, and there'll be some trainings on empathy, you know how to feel into a situation, give what's needed, but not, I want to say you're more like Teflon. You're not sticky, and you don't take other people's problems on and try to solve them for them. You're there to empower them, to solve them, and give them what they need for that. You are so gifted with the knowledge of, again, what to give someone in the right moment, and you feed the roots of that tree so the branches may grow strong and abundant. You feed the roots of the child, you feed the roots of your coworkers, you feed the roots of the people in your company so that they may grow strong. You're like just amazingly nourishing in that way. I just want you to have that in front of you. Like, you provide nourishment, you provide the nectar of life, or the nectar of what someone might need in your area of expertise. You absolutely want to put your unique identifiers in front of the Great Nurturer, whether you're a grounded Great Nurturer or that you're a humanitarian Great Nurturer. I have that one myself. Maybe you're a wise Great Nurturer. Whatever your identifiers are, put them in, and so that's going to flavor the kind of Great Nurturer that you are. You want to do that with all of your Wealth Code archetypes. It's essential that you are a creatrix, and like a feminine creative. And so, again, you're like Mother Nature herself. And what you touch with your love will grow vibrant and strong. So life and people and what you're involved in and where your purpose is playing out is a garden that you're tending. So it's essential that you act as a creatrix in your own life first and foremost and create your soul's calling. Otherwise, you'll err on the side of helping others too much with their projects and putting too little time and energy into your own. So like the collaborator in the moon also represents the collaborator, the queen, and the great nurturer. And so you are very social, you're very connected in with others. That's very important with you. You build community around you. You nurture community. In fact, you are very essential to other people's organizations because you bring people together. This also makes you highly valuable to leaders' organizations because you create supportive culture that attracts the right people while growing the soul and the mission of the business at the same time, because you have a good business head as a great nurturer. So it's essential that you grow what your own purpose and your own desire is, and you attend to that first and foremost, or you'll be in the shadow side of the great nurturer. So let's talk about that, because this is very common. We all have a great nurturer in us somewhere, and I see this a lot in women, and I see a lot in especially in women who have the great nurturer. I see a lot of being on the shadow side. And if you are playing the martyr and moaning and groaning about how much you do for others and that no one does anything for you, then you are stuck in overgiving and you feel obligated to give to others and believe that you have no choice but to do what's expected of you. And the results are feelings of resentment, anger, isolation. And you've all been there in moments. I know I've been there in moments, and some of you might be stuck in that for longer periods of time. It's when you're over giving and you're like, okay, well, why isn't anyone giving to me? But you haven't given to you. You haven't put yourself first. This will happen when you're over giving, when you're stressed, when you're looking for love in all the wrong places. Sometimes it just gets wired in as we're young women, as we're children, that in order to get love, we need to do something for someone. Very common. So these are blocks and barriers that need to be dissolved, and you need to be released of that, because you know what, your gifts are so huge to give when you're giving them cleanly in the right place. So self-care first, self-love first, and then you can nurture everyone else around you. Because you're intensely connected with your feelings, you care profoundly for people in your life, you can carry the burden of other people's pain. I touched on this earlier about you're really tapped into the whole collective. And you will process some of that, but you can take it on. Your child, your coworker, your spouse, maybe your business partner, maybe one of your vendors, they're going through something, because relationship and people are so important to you. You can kind of take on that energy, but it's going to deplete you. Okay. And you've got to be careful it's a way of having energy leaks. You can't help them in that way. If you're standing in the power of your great nurturer, you can help people immensely, because you're going to know exactly what to give them and when and where and how to, again, feed their roots, like you're just watering their roots with the most nourishment so they can go do it for themselves, so they can grow. So we want you to really watch that energy. If you're tired, if you're burned out, stressed, that's when you're going to end up in the shadow. You know that you're in the shadow if you feel depleted. That's the number one thing for the great nurturer. You feel like your reserves are low. You must fill yourself up. You must surround yourself with others also who get you and that you can exchange nourishment with. Your healers, your practitioners, but also deep, wise, wonderful souls that uplift you as well. Some of your great high value gifts are respectful, responsible, practical, collaborative, connective, reliable, loyal, attractive to others, and sees the best in people. Your Sacred Wealth Code is the place where purpose and prosperity meet in your soul blueprint. It's really your sweet spot for wealth. And your Sacred Wealth Code reading isn't just about the financial side of life. Your reading will introduce you to your unique gifts. I like to call them your highest value gifts that will empower you in wealth, in love, in health, relationships, business, all the important areas of life, and really strengthen your connection to your soul. You'll be introduced to your personal guides, your archetypes. They're unique to you and your soul blueprint. And these archetypes represent the most powerful aspects of yourself. We all have all the archetypes within us, but your Sacred Wealth Code has 3 to 5 very unique ones based on your soul blueprint. So you can grab your reading. There is a link down below in the description. You can also get the free Sacred Wealth Code quiz, where you'll get one of your Sacred Wealth Code archetypes by taking the quiz. And my book, Your Sacred Wealth Code, Unlock Your Soul Blueprint for Prosperity and Purpose, is available on Amazon and on my website. Link is down below. And so is the Oracle cards and the journal. Someone might complain about somebody, and you can see the best in them when you're in your highest value gifts. And that's a beautiful thing, because we all wear masks of pain and fear at times. And when someone can see through that, you're really seeing God in another. And what a gift that is in any moment. And that helps bring us back out of those moments when we're locked down in patterns and things that are, our own fear and our own hurts. So before we move on, 2 things I want you to do. 2 exercises, and you can pause this and give yourself some time to do it. With your high value gifts, I want you to do a stream of consciousness. I want you to write down whatever high value gifts you feel that you have, and I want you to err on the side of that you have more maybe than you're giving yourself credit for. Don't overanalyze them. You can also speak into a recorder. I do that kind of work a lot. Just depends on how you're wired up. You could tell a friend or your spouse that might be more vulnerable. You could ask people what they see as their high value gifts in you, but I wouldn't use that as the first go-to. I would really just tune in and ask, what are my high value gifts? And I would write, I've given you a short list. Take my list, take the whatever list you come up with, and then I want you to circle the top 5. And it's a work in progress, okay? So you might be working with that top 5, and then you realize, no, actually now that you've brought your awareness there, that it's a different 1 or a different 2 or a different 5. Okay? But the reason I want you to get in touch with your high value gifts, they're high value. And if you start to animate your energy and put your energy to the work that you're doing in the world and the way you're showing up through those high value gifts, like the highest value gifts, you are going to see wealth in a whole new way in your life. You're going to feel fulfilled. You are going to be connected to your purpose. You will see the kind of wealth and abundance that you want to have financially, with the wealth of resources, of people, of energy and vitality, of connections, whatever it is that you want to be wealthy with. You're going to see that come back to you if you stay in that place of using your high value gifts. We'll have more trainings on that, because it's not the easiest thing in the world, because we've been conditioned of what you're good at. And we do too much of what we're good at and what we've been told we're good at. But doing just what you're good at will leave life in sort of that mediocre middle range, where you once in a while jump into your high value gifts, but you also stay in those shadow places too often because you're not feeling fully fulfilled. Remember, your high value gifts they will expand and expand and expand and expand the more you use them. So if you're being the great nurturer, so maybe you're an inspirational great nurturer and you also teach, or you're head of a community, or you are working with children in some way, or you have an organization that takes care of the planet. Well, the more you use your specific high value gifts and that uniqueness there, the more you'll discover there's more. There's more of that gift. There's more to give. There's more of your fabulousness. More than you ever could imagine is available. And there will always be more. Just like that universe expands, our high value gifts expand too. The more you tune in with the great nurturer in all your archetypes, the more you actually sit and tune in, use the tapping in questions, use the meditation, really. This is a wealth council. It's the best of you, like your guides. The more you actually tap in with them, the more they will reveal to you, and they will guide you every step of the way. So we've got some trainings around that, around connecting into your wealth council on a regular basis. And there's some great suggestions for that. So right now, I want you to Either read this Archetype daily, listen to it, there's an audio of it, use the tapping in questions. You want to develop a relationship, okay? So the high value gifts practice. Now, the other practice that I want to invite you to do, if you want to pause this and do that one and then come back, you can do that. So the other practice I want to invite you to do is, where are you really feel called to use your great nurturer? Now, that may not be what you're doing, and it may be what you're doing, but where are you really called in life at this time in your life to use your great nurturer, where you feel like you're at that intersection of purpose and prosperity? Is it in your current work or your business? Is it time to shift that? Is it in your current career? Is there a different way that you can start bringing some more of your high value gifts in to feel like you are really in alignment with your great nurturer? Is it the planet? Is it people? Is it environments? Is it what kind of people? Who is it that you're here to water their roots with the most amazing, nourishing nectar? I want you to identify that, who that is for you. Again, this is a work in progress. So if you don't know who that is or what that is, then that's okay. Post in the forum. Coaches are here to help you. I'll be talking more about this. You can get on a Q&A call with me. Every month we have a Q&A call, and you can get on the Q&A call and ask me directly about that, and I will help you with that. Okay, so that's your second assignment. Inspired action plan. I nourish my body and soul first so I can abundantly use my high value gifts to nurture others with exactly what they need to grow and do for themselves. If that inspired action plan doesn't resonate for you, take it and tweak it and make one that does, and keep it in front of you. Put it on your mirror, put it on your desk, put it in your journal. That's the same with the mantra and the soul desire and the purpose. Remember, these aren't your ultimate mantra, soul desire and purpose, and inspired action plan. They are for your great nurturer, that amazing part of you, of your wealth code, that holds these certain high value gifts. Okay? You've got tapping in questions, you've got shadow questions that you can use. And what I want to invite you to do is, today, with watching this training, I want you to go ahead and do the tapping in questions. Again, they're in the written format, or you can listen to them. And with those, there's going to be an inspired action plan. So your third assignment, your third step here, is to tune into what is your great nurturer's inspired action for today to use one or all of your high value gifts. Take that inspired action. It's essential that you do. Take that inspired action. And with that inspired action, you are going to move your mission forward. And you're going to stretch and grow yourself while you're doing that. So I encourage you to work with your archetypes every day. Maybe you want to work with one for a day, a week. Tune in with all of them. It's very flexible on how you can do this. Make it your own. Okay. Much love to you and your great nurturer.